Today I'm going to share all the new stuff that's been going on with the two tanks. And as the title, we got a lot of new fish. So, I had a little bit of gift card money and I had to get a few chemicals, and I saw a few fish that I was kind of interested in, and I went ahead and kind of got them. So, I know I was going to say we're eventually going to put nails on puffer, maybe more, back in this tank eventually. But I'm just assuming we just wait until this tank gets moved, and then we really, just so we don't have to deal with moving Amazon puffers. So for now, I kind of found a few species of fish that we can stock both these tanks with. And the first fish I saw was a zebra loach. And if you guys have seen a zebra loach, they're like any loach. Why they're called zebras is because they have stripes. I like to call them tigers because that's what they more look like to me, but they're actually called zebras. And they're kind of a night fish. I don't know if that's exactly true or not, if they really are. But what I've been seeing is they like to hide basically all day and then come out at night and feed, and that's probably about what they do, I'm guessing. I don't have a whole lot of experience with loaches, so that's the only reason why I say that. Um, so I don't know where he is right now. More than likely, he's behind this rock. That's kind of like he kind of found his little home back there. He's pretty big, he's about 3 inches, so he's about almost full size already. They get around 4. And that's basically to keep down the snail population. As you can see, my snails kind of started populating and kind of got out of control. I only had them in here just to get away with a couple things I wanted to get rid of in this tank, and I really didn't want the snails in here anymore after I got the autostinkless to do it. And so they kind of started populating, and I didn't think they were going to do that. Didn't realize they were going to breed so fast. So I got the zebra loach to basically feed on them to keep the population down. Because as you can see, all these dead shells, there's a lot of them. So I kind of have to, go back and hand pick, get all these shells out of here, because there is quite a bit. But the loach should do a pretty good job of keeping, the population down. The next thing we got were, I guess we could switch to this tank. Now I can never say this. I've never actually looked up how to say this, but I think the Perstella tetra. I gotta look at the name again. I've never actually looked up how to pronounce these names, but you guys know what these are. If you've seen them, you've probably seen them a million times. These guys right here, this group of here that's swimming, we got a group of those. A group of 8. I saw them. I thought they looked pretty cool in this tank, contrasting with the kind of the blues and reds and the kind of oranges that we have going in this tank. I thought it was a little bit different. Get a black and white fish, make it a little different. And then also we got the program, which is he's a little skittish, but you can see, look at the bottom of the colors. I don't know if the light's kind of bright in this tank, but see that blue, and then you see the kind of the flame red. This program is really coloring up really nicely, and he's about almost full grown. He's about 4 inches. He's getting really big. But yeah, this tank's really hard to focus on. The light's super bright on this tank. There we go. But yeah, got a good group of fish again in this tank. This tank always seems to be, I want to say sad, but it just never seems lively. Every time I add, a new group of fish, it always makes the tank look good again. So we got a group of those. I think those look nice. They really are good. I was kind of iffy about them, but they ended up turning out to be a good addition to this tank. And I might add, a school or something else later on. But right now, this is a pretty good group of fish right now. It's kind of a random assortment, but that's what makes it kind of cool. Everything just kind of, over the years, has been so random. Not really random, it's just like we'll get a group of something, and then, Neon Tetris never lived that long, so we'll lose, like right now, there's maybe, 8 of them. There used to be, 30. So they just all, we used to have a bunch of black neons. Those kind of died off over the years. Just some age, because I've had a lot of fish in here for a very long time. The glow lights, we used to have a bunch of them. They all died off, over the 4 years they've been in this tank. So a lot of these fish are just dying off, and there's only, a couple species left of them. So this tank is kind of here and there with species, but it does make it look cool. But I think next edition, I do want to try corridors again in this tank. With the sand in here, I think it would work really good. Corridors, maybe do some pandas. I really like the pandas when I did have them, and maybe another school or something. Let you guys can tell me in the comments what you think would look good. I don't know. I'm thinking we need another bright color. Now that we got the black and white kind of fish in here, we got the reds and blues. I'm thinking, man, we need something like bright, maybe like a yellow. I don't know. We need something like really cool that'd pop. But yeah, keeping this, it's really cool with the black background like this. There's a lot of these fish really pop in color. But that's a little update on this tank. Everything's doing good. You can see the water's crystal clear. It doesn't really look like it, but you can tell how clear this. That light's just so foggy from this camera, but you can see it just kind of makes the glare. But that's a little update on that. Go back over here. This tank just looks so much more amazing than that one. But as you can see, I cleaned all the filters. You can see there's not a speck on these filters. All nice and clean. I usually don't like to clean them too much because obviously you don't want to lose a bunch of bacteria. But I made sure I went out and bought tons of bottles of Stability. I got this weird edition one. You guys probably seen this before. Literally for like the same bottle, it was like a little tinier bottle like this one, and it was the same price. So I was like, might as well get this 30% more, I guess. And then I got this, and then I got more Excel. Got like a couple more bottles of that, but we got all kinds, and got the most huge thing of Prime that I'll probably never use, because I barely use a Prime. But everything's growing really good in this tank now. Now that ever since the puffer's gone, it kind of sad, but ever since I've added some new stuff in here, this tank has done like more amazing than ever. But mostly because after the Amazon puffer, I was like, I had to put something in here. So I finally went out and actually just paid the money for auto sinkless, which, like I always said, would clean this tank up so nicely. So this tank like really looks nice. That skimmer just giving it the nice ripple effect. I never got the tank to look like this with the puffer because I always had to have the lid on there. I just like to have the open lid. It just looks so nice. But yeah, all the plants are growing back with the that I trimmed off. You can see all the beads coming back up. And then same with this one. This plant always does really good, and I planted a couple more stems this time, so we'll see if we can get that corner kind of growing. I kind of want to fill in that corner, so we'll see what happens with that. Oh, and then the last fish, almost forgot about them. We got German blue rams. Now, I was going to put these in the 40 with the other fish. I thought they would bring a lot of color, which would be true, but at the same time, getting a little aggressive. A fish like this doesn't deserve to be kind of in a tank like that. I think they need to be in a nice planted tank to really show off their true colors, and that's what I did here. So I was like, screw it, we're just gonna put them inside the planted tank. They're gonna look a lot more nicer in this tank. Ooh, getting a little close. But yeah, look at this. Look how good that German Blue Rams is. I picked out some really nice ones. That one right there is just, look at that. But yeah, you could tell, they look so much better in this tank than they would in the 40, so I threw them in here. We got a pair. They should be both male. I think the females don't always, they're a lot lighter in color, so I should have told them to get a female, but I told them to get this one, and I was like, you can choose whatever else looks good to you. So I got another male. So they are aggressive to each other a little bit, but not too aggressive. They actually swim together and fly around the tank together, so they actually seem to be getting along. But sometimes they get a little nippy over food and all that. But yeah, I can't lie. These look really good in this planted tank. Really nice addition. It brings out a lot of color that we didn't have before. We got the auto sinkless. We got the zebra loach. So this tank's looking really good. But other than that, I'm gonna make separate videos on these species soon. But other than that, see you next time.